All right, what is the deal? Get it to move. Okay. There. Super sensitive mouth.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Microsoft automatic piloting thing either. You try to drag stuff up there about that.
Yeah, it tells you where you want, it wants to put it. Since you're president, you'll go first. That way y'all can get back to work. Yes, I did. This extended display drives me crazy too. All right. Why?
You got any copies in your office? No.
Yes. Are you gonna be with us this afternoon too? Susan out? Okay. Okay. Oh. You're standing. What? It's on. Says on. Hello. It says. Hello. Hello. I'll bring it in closer. Sorry. I may have to lean into it just a little bit.
Out there, too. Yeah. We were leaning in with these. Oh,
I need a handheld one.
yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. Yeah.
You do this with the helmets.
Yeah, the fail. Yeah.
I hear everybody having it.
Oh, my goodness.
Teacher?
He's here and he's doing something with Keegan. I don't know.
Okay.
Just checking. Sandy's on her way. Who? Sandy? Oh, okay.
I want to reinitiate my Wi-Fi connection every time I get in here.
I have to do mine sometime. Morning. Morning. Go ahead and shut the door if you would, please. All right. I'll call this budget workshop to order at 9:03 a.m. on the 2nd. Yes, August the 2nd. And we concluded pretty much everything we need. This is a little bit of cleanup work, and I guess the sheriff has some additional discussion and request.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Because we just said here, just be, I think on the salaries, we're gonna be good on the ends. We're running numbers. And it.
Okay.
We look at one more thing to there.
I believe you had discussed wanting to get them to at least 54. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, there's a little bit of money left that would work with 25,000. But it is something impressive salary ranges. It's gonna take. It's gonna take time to get that figured out, so. What we're sitting at, all the time, looking at running out 54 but it is a cost of progression and salary ranges for the other divisions.
Well, and I believe that you eliminated the part-time transport deputy that was in there earlier for 32,000.
Yes.
And did you want to use those funds, that money to up it? I'm trying to figure out, it's about $841. Is that correct? We got microphones.
She ran the numbers to round it out, didn't even matter, or would be 25,000, $30.
But they actually though, they get certificate pay on top of that, so
Yes,
that, okay,
it's not right when we make this work.
okay.
It's bang for our buck on the salary, the salary range. So that before, then like say, we do some work with the president. Takes it, the superior officer, ranking officer.
Okay, so is there anything that you want to do today? Discuss or?
Here's what it is.
You bet.
Yeah. So what would the salary be amended to now? Right now, they're 53,150. What are they gonna do?
They haven't decided. They wanted to get it rounded up to 54, but at least that was the understanding with them. That doesn't take into account certificate pay, which will take them well over 54. So while they're discussing it, do any of the commissioners have any items they want to bring up and discuss?
Well, I'm telling you, I'm very disappointed that once again, not that the sheriff's office doesn't need it, but we're pushing more money to the sheriff's office than we are any other office, and everybody needs it. We're behind across the board with all of our employees. But we're doing more for the sheriff's office than we are for other employees. We're not using the same metrics. We had gone over all this before I left to be out of town, and then when I come back, we find out we're getting a grant. And we're upping the amount of raise that we were giving the sheriff's office. And that's, I'm not saying they don't need it, Joe. Don't take this wrong.
Yes,
But I'm saying if we're gonna fix something, we don't just need to fix the sheriff's office. If we're not gonna fix it across the board, then we don't need to fix the sheriff's office and not somebody else. That's what I'm saying.
With those departments that you have. Well, the new proposed salary is. Close or probably below the average of everybody else, correct?
You turn that off, Joe, because I can't hear you.
okay. It's got a little work to it.
Whether the raise was 900 or 9,000, the goal was to get everybody closer to the average. And from, I don't have the sheet with me anymore. But from the sheet that y'all had, the only one I can remember is deputy. The average was around 54,000.
Yes, sir.
And we're there. It doesn't matter if it's a $30,000 raise, we're at 54,000. Now, I don't know, I can't remember the other departments, but are y'all, it's gotta be within the average.
But that's
Not
what
how much
I'm
we're
saying.
giving raise.
You can't get sheriff to go pull his numbers and use the schedule to come up with his numbers, and then Susan used a whole different plan to come up with a number for hers. Everybody's got to use the same plan.
Should have
They've got to
been
use the same counties. They've got to take off the same counties you took off. they've got to add the same kind, they've got to do everything the same way.
It's gotta be those
We
24
can't
counties.
use one plan for one department, another plan for another department.
I agree
We've
with
got
that.
to be fair.
I agree. And it's based off those 24 counties that were our size, not Henderson, Kaufman, the ones that are our size. Correct?
The same, I don't know if they use the same 24 that you use on the elected officials.
Any more comments?
No, sir.
All right,
Yeah, I have one slight comment. You know, we have tried to bring the salaries. Sheriff's Department up with, to at least try to compete with Henderson County and
Yes,
Smith County and
County,
Kaufman
yeah.
County. However, you know, our tax rate. I don't know if it's gonna sustain what we've done in the future with what tax rate we have now. Because Henderson County, their tax rate brings in a lot more money,
Yes, sir.
you know, to provide for the their employees. However, our tax rate does not bring in that kind of money.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just kind of concerned about where we're going with the present tax rate that we have to work with.
Yes, sir. I'm taking clear. We want to grow this, as I said before, last thing they want to do is come back later and use salary for that now, so we didn't grow it up manageable rate.
So I have to say.
okay.
And we say one more thing, the salary range you guys said, I mean, employees would be very happy with the amount of money you talk about, in the grand scheme of things, not that much. But I certainly understand that we're down to point, that you're, have to make sure things balance that, so that's all they got to do there. But this, with the proposed pay increase that everybody's getting, this would be the biggest thing that happened, salary wise, across the county, it's very much appreciated. So don't have any way other than.
Oh, I'm,
I'm sure you're going to come, because I want to make sure too, when we can sustain this over the coming years, we can catch up, but if we can keep steadily growing this in the future too, it'll sure help us sustain the keep and turnover and going with that.
But with a grant only being a 2-year grant, may not be a whole lot of sustaining, maybe maintaining. But there may not be sustaining and increasing and growing. I mean,
Yes.
you may get this year, it may be the same next year. So that we gotta prepare to absorb the grant. Unless the legislature votes to continue it at the next session, which we don't know what they're going to do.
Yes, sir. Now, and we went to the sheriff's conference, weekend before last, and before, and I can assure you, the Sheriff Association of Texas will be highly involved in trying to make sure this grant does continue in the future. Because it's a huge deal for us. It's some of these counties are smaller, less funded. It's even a bigger deal for them.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything to address? If not, then I will call this workshop closed at 9:14 a.m.
well, I mean,
Hold on.
that was just on sheriff's office. I didn't know we got.
I asked, okay, that's what I asked for. Was there anything else?
Yes, sir.
It wasn't specific.
We
to-
just go to the sheriff's first.
Okay, right, because he was here. So let him go. So is there anything? Go ahead,
So,
Commissioner Pearson.
and on the elected officials, I just want to let you know, I'm still not satisfied with what the court, the majority of the court has decided on that. And I just didn't want to bring that up only at the spur of the moment. I still believe that we've set a precedence in Van Zandt County on how we paid the elected officials. And I'm not pleased with how we lowered the constables, and I'm personally not pleased with how the treasurer and the 2 clerks and the tax collector that are not getting the same raise that the commissioners did. I understand what you use, Brandon, but that's not the way the precedence has been set in Van Zandt County over the last 30 years. Those positions have always made the same way.
Disagree. That was 30 years ago and we're trying to move forward and we got the averages and.
I respect that. I respect that.
My opinion on elected official change, hadn't changed it before. I've just reached a point where realizing where the majority stands that, you know, we do have a grievance policy. If they feel like it's unfair, they have an avenue to speak up. And I'm at the point where I'm going to defer to whether or not they want to utilize their policy to speak up.
I just thank Commissioner Barton for digging into this, doing lots of work on this, and I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yes, me too. And he used the same metrics on the elected officials that he did on Road and Bridge. I mean, the same formula.
Yeah.
And so that's,
And I agree, Barton, you've done a lot of work on it and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Putting it all together.
And thank you, most too. We appreciate your work on.
All right, other items. Is there anything else that we need to discuss? I am working on the indigent defense categories. There's about 6 of them. And I've spoken with Judge Martin on his, and we were able to reduce it based on actuals, and we're working right now on the others to where we can raise the hourly rate from the current $60 an hour, which attorneys get for CPS, juvenile, mental health, and probate to I don't know if it's probate, but to 75. The $60 an hour rate was in effect in the 80s, I believe. It hasn't been changed since. And I believe we will be able to accomplish that without changing what is currently budgeted in our budget. So just want to let you know that.
75 is still way below
That is correct.
what
Surrounding counties all
other counties pay.
surrounding counties all pay $100
Yeah,
an hour.
we're good.
I think we had on the R&B. Some people want to tweak it. We had 4 different opinions. May want to look at that too. Before we close the workshop. All right. What? R&B, Road and Bridge.
All right, who's speaking on behalf of the Road and Bridge?
I'll let Chad do it first.
Oh, I'd like to get the hands some more fun about what you got in mind.
well, Brandon and I talked yesterday. We didn't apply because of the money situation, didn't bring them up to his average. And so we talked to him about adjusting the foreman to 51,000, the crew leaders to 47,000, and the road and bridge workers to 45,000. Doesn't affect the general fund one bit. Because our road and bridge workers are still way behind the average of the metrics that he used.
The average is the foreman, the average is 50. And the crew is 45.
And I just got through telling you yesterday what Henderson County was making, and we're gonna make more We're gonna put them above Henderson County. I thought we was done with this thing. What, are you saying that the foreman needs to make a little more?
No,
It,
no, I'm saying mainly the road and bridge workers.
oh, well,
I'm proposing to raise the foreman by $1,000, but I'm raising the road and bridge hands by 45 to 45,000 a year.
I like that. Gives us room to work and compete.
think we have like. I said it, we got 4 people trying to run 4 businesses in our own way, and we're all in different. Scenarios. If you raise it to 45,000, that's just a cap. That doesn't mean you have to pay. Everyone 45,000. If a 19-year-old kid just starting out wants to come in, no, you don't pay him 45. But you have that cap. At that for somebody who may have been there 15 years and knows everything.
well, I thought we was gonna work on a longevity plan next year where. You know, after 5 years, maybe they could make $40 a month for $480 a year. And then every 5 years, double that. And that's the way they would advance pay wise.
But you'd advance the same regardless of skill level, it'd just be about time, like that guy doing nothing but riding a patch truck, getting the same increase as the guy running the blade.
Well, no, because you're gonna set your salary, whatever you want to, in that range. That you have, you don't have to set your salary for your guy that patches at 42,500. You don't have to do that. You can set it at 41 or 40.
That's one reason why I like to go to 45, so I can have a better base salary on the bottom end for people coming in. And then room to work up to the 45 for my equipment operators and Class 8 drivers. I'm definitely far to 45 for road and bridge hands.
If you move them to 45. You're gonna have to move your crew leader up.
So we'll go to at least 46, 47.
There has to be a separation of the foreman and the crew leader of at least $6,000. That's ridiculous. And he runs a whole show. So you're getting into something here, when you raise the salaries of the other, you got to raise the salaries of the crew leader and the foreman.
And we're at that foreman, we're right where we need to be.
And the rest y'all, it comes up to 24,500 for me to do the 45, 47, 51. If we go to 45, we've got to bump the crew leaders a little bit. They've got to be above them.
Well, why don't you do away with one crew leader and just have, and use that money?
Do all of y'all use 2 crew leaders?
I don't even have a crew leader. No, I do need one, I just don't have one yet, but I think you just need one.
Just probably just use one crew leader.
I currently got 2 crew leaders.
I would have 2 if I had one. I don't have 2 in that position, but if I ever had a man that was qualified. Because on most days, we split up and go in different directions.
And that's why I do it. I got 2 different directions we go every morning.
I propose 51, 47, 45.
Or what?
51 for the foreman, 47 for the crew leader, 45 for the road.
No one crew leader,
No, two crew leaders.
I second.
But what's the separation now then between the foreman and the crew leader?
Or
That's,
You know, there's 6,000 separation between them right now. Well,
no,
current, but
crew leader. 51 and 47.
you don't have to raise a foreman more than that then to have a decent separation between the people he supervises.
But if we do that, we're going against everything.
Well, we're going against everything right now.
it's going against everything. And one position the one that's kind of in question.
Well, I want to make sure we get the low end, so then I'll propose 45, 46, and 51. That'll give you $5,000 good.
What about 44, 46, 51?
That makes more sense to me if you're gonna do something.
Fine with me.
Yeah, we really need a 45 to work with on the low end.
But I see Virgil's point, you can't have a small separate, I mean. The foreman is the CEO out there,
He is,
he's running it,
he's running.
you do have to have a separation.
But you still got a 6,000 separation between low end and foreman. If you leave it foreman at 51 and go 45.
You'll have a $5,000 separation between your crew leader. At 51, 46, 44, you've got a $5,000 separation between your foreman and your crew leader. And then a $2,000 separation between the this roadhead.
I'd vote for something like the 44.
The crew leaders are carrying some load for the foreman. So him being just 5 over there, I think it'd be all right. It'll be 6 over his regular hands.
I think 51, 46, 44 makes more sense to me. I mean, I would like them to have 45, I'm not gonna lie there, but in order to stay with these metrics, the 51, 46, 44 is in it.
Well, I thought you said the 44 was hurting was only 45.
There's, when it says crew, I don't know if this is the crew hand and the road hands. This is just everybody but the foreman. The averages. That it doesn't stipulate where it's the crew leader or road hand. This is just in general. And here's the foreman. So we're in line with the foreman. And if you went 46 on a crew leader and 44 on a road hand, you split it right there. You're in the middle at 45. I mean, is it perfect? No, in the close, yeah. But you see how far we're off. I mean, we're paying 44, everybody else is 51. Except for never doges.
Would the separation be it'd be 5,000 on your plan? On your,
Yeah, it'd be 5,000 between the foreman and the crew.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, you're a year behind. What
Yeah.
we're doing right now. And they do their raises, we're still gonna be like that.
I don't think we'll be way behind. We'll still be behind.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna be behind at all.
If Henderson County is making 51.3 now. And we only take ours to 51, they're gonna give their raises and they're gonna go to, I'll guarantee at least 55.
Mhm.
I did notice with these counties like Virgil did Henderson County, they have RB1, RB2, RB3, they have stages of where your people are at. And then I got a deal on Nacogdoches and they've got it broke down to maintenance 1, maintenance 2, operator 1, operator 2, which we don't have that. We just have foreman, crew hand.
That's right.
Henderson County right now is paying 45 now, 9 right now. Chad and I are just asking to go to 45
But is that?
after
Is
our
that including
increase.
the crew leader too, though?
Henderson
That
County
number-
has a range between 39, 153 and 45.
And that's just what I said yesterday.
They have a range.
I mean,
And that range would be higher.
Okay.
after
what,
the-
if you got it, you know, what's wrong with the, and it really, I think we had a good, yesterday, I thought we had this all figured out, but if you're gonna do something, let's do the 44.
I think we do the 45, it'll get us closer when everybody else does their raises, we'll be in closer. And it's not just competing with other counties, we gotta compete with our local people. But it'll get us closer to other counties. If we'll go to 45 now. I don't think that 5,000 difference between the crew leaders and the foremen, the crew leaders are doing some of the foreman's work.
So Chad, you're saying 51, 46, 45?
Yes, sir.
I don't like that.
How about 44.5?
That's what I.
Split the difference.
I'd do that.
51, 46, 44, 5?
Will that work, Chad? Will it work for you?
We really need the 45.
And you're still way behind, you're still gonna be way behind Henderson
Well,
County.
you don't know that, you know, because the range, we're looking at the range right now.
But the range don't matter, we're looking at the top end, we've got a range here now, I can pay my guys minimum wage. I've got a range right now,
And that's what I'm arguing
all of
for.
them don't make the same. But some of the high-end performers, I need to get more.
And that's what I'm arguing for. I'm trying to get to where I can get my blade operator, the Class A driver up there competitive with that 45 range. I'm still gonna step down.
6 months until I moved the guy that don't even have a driver's license. He gets to work every day. I need him boom action. I moved him to permanent right now because I can't get nobody to even apply for a job. Let alone a CDL license.
I've been short 2 men most of the year. Next two positions I put on, I ain't been able to keep going.
So in the perfect world, if it was 51, 46, 45. Your foreman's making 51, your crew leader's making 46, and your high end. Road hand that knows has CDL, knows how to work everything, will be making the 45, whereas if you don't have a CDL, you just drive a patch truck, you may be making 43.
That's correct. That's correct. And right now, a foreman in Henderson County makes 51.3. And we're going to 51, and Henderson, that don't include Henderson's raise. If you want to base things off Henderson, he's basing it off of average of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counties.
That's just what I got through saying earlier. Henderson County has a tax rate that supports all their, everything they do. Do we have a tax rate that is comparable to Henderson County? No, we don't. I said this 1,000 times, we're an ag community. And the ad valorem tax coming in this is way below what Henderson County brings in.
Well, our tax rate, if it's gonna be 39 cents this year comparison,
I
nobody.
don't want. I need to correct something here. It's not the tax rate we're talking about.
I know
It's
it.
the asset value.
Okay. the
Okay,
asset value.
asset value that we are able to tax on. Currently, it's $11 billion market value for the county. And after the deductions for exemptions, both 65 and older and ag and timber, it comes down to a little over $4 million. And that's what we are able to tax on right there. And that is the reason why we don't have as much revenue coming in as Henderson County, because their asset base and is higher than ours. That's why they have more revenue coming in. Their asset base is higher. So
The tax
Their
rate
tax rate's
generates,
higher too.
yeah, the tax rate generates that revenue.
the tax rate is somewhat set based on what the previous month one was plus 3.5%.
Well, the funding for these hands payroll comes out of the road and bridge budget I oversee. And I'm willing to shift that much money over to get my hands wages they need to be to attract and maintain quality people. Because it's hard to do it when you're kind of short-handed.
Well, I guess the question I would have is, no, you just requested an additional part-time. You didn't request another hand. Okay, never mind.
And this is coming out of, make sure I'm right here, out of the commissioner, our budget.
That's,
So,
you're just shifting
If
what
we
you have.
put more money into salaries, that means we have less money into materials, gas, and
Whatever you want to take it out of. That's what you.
Like I said, I think it'd be beneficial to my precinct. To shift a little over here, get this payroll up to where we can attract and maintain operators and Class A drivers. So that we can continue to get stuff done. When I have to drop a truck because I don't have somebody to drive it. Or when I have to change my daily operation, my blade operator ain't there that day. I need to have the ability to keep going forward and functioning if someone's off. And to do that, we've got to get this paid to work compatible. And that's why I'm asking, I mean, if you don't want to pay it, Kathy, we've got to, from your precinct.
I think my guys, just talking to them, they were thrilled to death to get a $6,000 raise. Now, I'm sure they would be thrilled to get what, $8,000 raise,
7,500.
7,500 now. I mean, but they were very, very happy to get what they had.
Well, some of them get, I don't know how, like I said, we're all different. Some of your guys would get 7,500, but not, I know with mine, mine and Chad, all of our guys wouldn't get that because we got a bunch of guys that are new that wouldn't get the full thing. Which you may be different.
Well,
all
I
your guys are
just, all my
experienced.
guys make the same, except one, he doesn't have a CDL, and I give, I deduct $100.
That's where you're lucky. All of your guys,
Yeah.
all but one has a CDL. No, I got 3 or 4 that doesn't have one.
Kind of that same boat.
I don't oppose at 45 just because it's a ceiling. And we're not gonna pay everybody 45, but it's a ceiling. And if the guy has a CDL and can run every equipment, I think he's worth that too.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
So what do you propose then?
I say 51, 46, 45.
Second,
I agree.
That'll give you a $5,000 difference between the foreman and the crew leader. And a $1,000 difference between the crew leader and your road hand. Now, I think that's fair.
What says you, Virgil?
Looks like I'm in the minority here, so,
You don't have to pay it. I mean, you can have that budgeted, but you don't have
Yeah.
to pay that.
yeah, that's true. So is there's still a $5,000 separation between the
Yes.
foreman and the
Yes.
crew chief?
And I know we discussed it, but it didn't go anywhere about CDL certificate pay, but you could adjust your salaries to pay those people more who have CDLs.
And I think if you want to get honest with CDLs, it ain't happened yet, but it's going that way. We're just gonna start getting dump trucks and equipment that doesn't require CDLs because this newer generation. It's getting harder and harder for them to get CDLs and who wants to come work at the county for 45,000 with CDL, and they can go work for somebody else for 80,000 with CDL.
What, I don't know if I catch that. You're saying that there are going to be vehicles that don't require a CDL?
You get dump trucks that do not require CDLs, and I think that's where we're pushing to start going. My opinion.
Well, it's all based on vehicle weight, from my understanding.
No, they don't, you can't haul, you can't haul 12 yards and one without a CDL, you can haul 6 to 8. But you got the driver, it don't matter if it hauls 100 tons.
So,
Yeah.
I believe there's unanimous opinion for 514645, is it not?
It is.
So do we need to continue on discussing it? You don't have to pay that. You can set it within that. That's your max in that regard. And then you can set it up within each precinct based on qualifications of the individuals, whether they get that. Okay. All right. Is there anything else we want to discuss on Road and Bridge while we're here?
That was it.
The only thing I was on my individual, if you want to do that,
Your individual. We added,
precinct 3.
right, okay.
I'm gonna ask to move to, I've got, contingency at 300,000. I want to lower it to 100,000 and raise road and bridge material by 200,000.
Okay, that would, I don't have that one.
That's all I'm asking
Okay.
permission to do.
Okay. Thank you. You got that, Sandy?
No, I don't. I'm just going to get through the budget.
Okay,
I have it ready for proposal. We all through with it.
well, sorry.
Um,
I intend for Friday to be the final day.
what are you doing, Keith?
Lower contingency to 100,000. It's 300,000 now, and raise road and bridge material by that 200,000. The bottom line doesn't change.
Okay. Are there any other changes? Is there anybody else? I mean, I'll just wait until somebody pipes up.
Yeah,
Anything the treasurer.
I'm asking for a new position. I'm gonna see if I can fill it. If I can't fill it, I'll do away with it next year.
Right, and it's in there.
Oh,
That's it. All right. Going once. Going twice. I now call this workshop closed at 9:44. And I thank you for your participation. The next workshop will be Friday morning for any follow-up, any additional items that need to be addressed, and then we approve it. Or we post it first and then approve it, or when do we approve it?
You'll just post it with the county. You will just. file it
Okay,
with the
I'll
county
file it.
clerk's office.
We'll file it by the 10th.
And then,
And then we-
calendar with me, but I think August 16th, we have a public hearing.
We have a public hearing where we'll discuss it.
You'll vote to modify or accept it.
Okay. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.